This is Tim from the Jefferson County General Assembly. Today is March 26, 2018. The subject matter today is called Dog Latin, and that's Dog Latin. This is a language. This is a language that you will find in the Chicago Book of Styles. It's actually called the Chicago Manual of Styles, 16th edition, foreign languages. It's Article 11-147, for those of you who want to know. This is a secret foreign sign language. It's the language that you often see on things like your driver's license, social security cards, various things where they capitalize all of the letters of your name. That is actually a foreign language. So if you think about what's going on in government, you have two corporations called the United States of America. There's actually three. The first is sovereign, the second is the territorial, the third is the municipal. Well, the municipal government, for example, is operated through the International Monetary Fund and the United Nations, which is actually a French corporation called the UN. That's the name of it, UN Corp. It's a foreign corporation. And if you go the other route to the territorial, you have the Federal Reserve operated by the British Crown. And then within that scope, you have three jurisdictions. And the jurisdiction of the land, jurisdiction of the sea, jurisdiction of the air, as I've already talked about. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because the Vatican, which is in charge of the trusts and the jurisdiction of the air, also is in cahoots, if you will, with the jurisdiction of the sea. And this is run out of the City of London. So the City of London uses this dog language in the Bar Association, and the City of London is the second crown of two in England. So the City of London is a sovereign stronghold, and it is directly tied to the Vatican. So there you have your ties. It comes out of the Vatican into the City of London. The City of London operates all the Bar Association, the British Accreditation Registry, which is all the attorneys and judges. So they operate out of Britain, and they are out of the Vatican. All right, so that's the line of progression there. Why is this important? Dog Latin is a mixture of English and Latin. It is commonly called corrupt by they who created it. It is a poisonous gloss or glossa, spelled all capital letters, Glossa, glossa. It is a poisonous language because you cannot mix languages. You cannot mix Spanish with Greek. It doesn't work. You cannot mix English with Latin. It does not work. The punctuation will not line up. So this is actually what the courts and the governments do. They use grammar. And you when I saw this, it was just crazy for me to try to understand. It was so simple. And yet it was so profound in what they are doing because it's a fraud. So they're using this all capitalized name, which is Dog Latin. Okay, so if you were to use, let's say, my name. Let's say my name is Tim Allen. I'm going to write this down. Harmon. Okay. Whenever you would take that out of the capital letters and put it into English, it would actually look like this. It would have a period, and a period. Okay. And what that does These periods are grammatically wrong. They don't exist. So what you have is a sentence with one word, another sentence with one word, and a third sentence with only one word in it. Well, it doesn't work like that. English is, you have to have nouns and pronouns and adjectives. And, if you don't have any verbs, then there's no sentence. So that's what they do. So this is a language that is 100%, 100% wrong. Okay, so grammatically, it's not a language at all, except in the fact that it is unstable and it's unlawful. Now, understand it's a real simple principle with dog Latin. Anytime you see dog Latin mixed with English, that corrupts the paperwork. In other words, it makes it void. It makes it null and void from the beginning. The only way that they can get you when they mix these things up, if they take you into court, you'll see. I've said this before, like on paperwork, you'll see the County of Jefferson in all capital letters because I'm in Jefferson County. It'll be all capital letters. That's a glossa. That is dog Latin. Okay, it's also called American Sign Language. Now, what that does is it corrupts the whole paper. So if you see this all capital letters on any of the paperwork, it's corrupted. So it's void. You have to call them on that. Okay? If you agree and if you sign that thing, then you are making a valid contract. Don't sign that thing until they explain why there are two languages on one court paper. This is the reason. The reason is simple. Internationally, if you make out paperwork for court, if it's in French, it has to be in all French. If it's in Spanish, it has to be all Spanish. If it's in English, it has to be all English. It cannot be glossa or dog Latin and English. That corrupts the entire paperwork. Okay? Understand, it's really, really simple. Dog Latin is a foreign language. Just like the corporation called the United States of America, all capital letters, is a French corporation. It's a foreign corporation. And I am not a foreigner except to that corporation. Okay, there's an act. It's called the Sovereign. I'll have to get this right. Okay, so it's called the Foreign Sovereigns Act of 1976, Section 1605 and 1607. That particular act calls me sovereign. So I'm the sovereign of the Foreign Sovereigns Act of 1976. Because I'm foreign, it's their act, and I am foreign to their corporation. Okay, so I am a foreigner to the government because I'm a sovereign man on the land and they are at the jurisdiction of the sea. So, getting back to the dog Latin, this was created by the Vatican. It was actually created, this is called Justinian, the Justinian Deception. This was put together by a guy named Romley Stewart from Australia. What this does is this causes an estoppel. Okay? So when he went into court and he questioned this language, which is a foreign language to the English, and they're both on the same piece of paper, and he questioned it, they threw him out of court. That's called an estoppel. Okay, they just told him he had to leave because he knew that he had stumbled onto something, but he didn't understand what he had stumbled onto until he later figured it out. It took him a little bit of time to figure out what they were actually doing. He knew it was wrong, but it took a little time to figure it out. So I want to read down through this just a little bit. It's Babel. This language is actually Babel from Babylon. That's what the words mean. Okay, that's why it's called Dog Latin. It's the language of the illiterate. So if you agree to what they're telling you on these pieces of paper, they assume that you are illiterate and they don't care. You are incompetent and they don't care. So this is a debased, a declination or debased meaning. It is wrong. It is immoral and counterfeit and void of all reality. Okay? So it's a dead ledger. What that means is it's depicted as the Egyptian god of the dead, the underworld, Anubis. This all comes out of ancient Rome. During from 530 to 560 AD, Justinian was the ruler, and he put this all into place. But it actually came out of Egypt long before that. This is the exact thing that the Bible talks about. Whenever you read through the Bible and it talks about not being a part of them, this is the them that you're not a part of. You cannot be a part of that system, because if you walk, I've said this before, if you walk into a federal building, you're on federal jurisdiction. If you walk into the United Nations building in New York City, you become a part of the United Nations because you walk into their jurisdiction. So they have law and you are under that law. Well, whenever you agree to this dog Latin, it makes you amenable to what they are doing. You become a part of that corporation. Now, what they do is they give you benefits and privileges. So one of the benefits and privileges in being in that corporation is you have the privilege of going to prison. Yeah, that's a privilege. It's something that they can give to you. It's a benefit. All right, so understand, they have a completely different language that they use called Legeleze in courts. And it's based on this dog Latin. Okay, so if you see your name, which is supposed to be your name, it's actually not your name. I guess I can explain that. My name is Timothy Allen. That's my name. It is my Christian name. I have a surname. The word surname means from the underneath, from below, from hell. Surname. So surname is Harmon. That's two separate names. One is Timothy Allen, one is Harmon. What they do on the birth certificate, this is going to get you. What they do on the birth certificate is they put them together and make one name. And then they tell the whole world, this is who you are. Because in their world, it's who you are. And remember, these people are the same people who own the education system. So you're being educated by the same people who are taking advantage of you. Isn't that great? So we need to step out of the box. We need to teach ourselves sovereignty and reality, because what they're teaching is a false doctrine. Dog Latin is a false, fake language. It doesn't exist. It's half Latin, half English. It doesn't exist grammatically. When you call them on that, dude, there's nothing they can do. They're out. Because if they try to explain it, they have to explain the fraud. And they can't do that, because if they do that, then they go to prison. Okay, so what you can do with your paperwork, like my property taxes, you never open up the taxes. The reason you don't open them is because if you open them, that means you accepted them. What you need to do is write on them, not accepted for fraud. Return to sender. And then when they call you on that, you start writing your letters. Start writing your letters. It says, immediately, what I would do is take that letter, put it into an envelope, write my letter saying, this is fraud. Please explain to me how I have a contract with you. Now, if you're a federal employee, you have a contract. If you have a voter's registration, you have a contract. Okay, you cannot be a part of the corporation and do what I'm saying, because only a sovereign man can do what I'm saying. So you need to do your paperwork. Put your paperwork back on the soil. Now, I'm going to say just the way it really is. There are people out there who love paying their taxes. That's okay. They love paying their taxes, and they love watching television, and they believe everything on the 6 o'clock news. If you're watching this and you're one of them folks, turn this off. It's not going to do you a bit of good. Okay? So, if you're one of them fellas who likes to pay his taxes and drink beer on Friday and go to church on Sunday, this is not for you. Turn it off. But if you want to know how to be sovereign, if you want to understand this problem that we are facing, which is layered, one upon the other. What these people do is they take these layers and they layer all their garbage and they put it on top of you. So you have to throw off the layers, throw off the dog Latin, throw off their language, throw off all these things that they're doing that are negligible, because it's all fraud. All of it is fraud unless you're a federal employee. But if you're a sovereign man, this is all fraud to you, because you are foreign, right, to the corporation. I am a sovereign, yes, a sovereign foreigner. I am a foreigner to that which is their corporation. All right, so I don't want to beat a dead horse too much. Dog Latin. Dog Latin. It's written all capitalized. Now, if this was hyphenated, it would be regular Latin. But what they do, they take out the hyphens, which makes it void. In Latin, anything is capitalized like that, it has hyphens between it. Well, when they write your name without the hyphens, that creates dog Latin. All right? And that dog Latin is a corrupt language, and it corrupts all their paperwork. Okay, so go to the Jefferson County General Assembly.org and find out the information that you need. I have links to this. I have links to read Romney Stewart's stuff. You can read Romney Stewart's stuff from my website, Jefferson County General Assembly.org. So go there, read up on it. It's easier to read than it is to go and watch all of his videos. Watching all of his videos takes hours and hours and hours. He's a really nice guy. He's from Australia, and he's gone through hell. They stole his automobiles. They tried to rough him up and cause problems for his family and all kinds of stuff. It's the price for freedom, folks. The British killed most of the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. So if you're going to be a patriot, understand that people are going to try and stop you, because that's what they do. It's a lifelong commitment. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day.